让人与自然和谐相处。
You may not be familiar with these numbers. But they are pertinent to the survival of the human race.
That is why I'm urging governments to take 6 climate-positive actions to recover better together.
136 countries have committed to reducing carbon
Ladies and
emissions.
gentlemen, welcome to MWC Barcelona.
The efforts
The next
are
session
far
will
from
commence in
enough.
5 minutes.
Green networks are enabling a comprehensive low-carbon transition. Optical fibers, with their energy efficiency and durability, can weave a green network that delivers gigabytes of energy. Green networks have the power to transform all industries, break the boundaries between the virtual and physical worlds to create the ultimate user experience. Connect a smart home appliance to achieve precise energy efficiency. Build smart hospitals where massive amounts of data can be searched and traced. Break data silos to make manufacturing more intelligent. Connect time and space to make conventional operations safer and more efficient. And leverage new technologies to protect the endangered species in primary forests. Optical networks can help us achieve our dual carbon goals, taking us to a green future.
Lying above us is the starry galaxy. Myths, astrology, science fiction, the universe. Inspiring each generation to explore the unknowns. Down on Earth is the digital galaxy. Voice, web, video, and UHD, from daily communications to audio-visual interactions, inspiring each generation to explore all possibilities on connectivity. We call this galaxy the fixed network. Now, relying on breakthroughs in new technologies, we are heralding in the 5th generation fixed network era, F5G, which will invigorate all industries with gigabit energy. F5G delivers ultra-high bandwidth, enabling the gigabit communications to traverse oceans and continents, serving every home and organization. It breaks down the boundary between virtuality and reality, removing all barriers of time, space, and technology, enriching the ecosystems of industries. F5G delivers an ultimate experience. It monetizes every millisecond, whether in manufacturing or finance. Works more wonders in life through remote medical cooperation and realizes greater possibilities as cities become more intelligent. F5G achieves full fiber connectivity, breaking the chains of distance to extend fibers to every desktop, room, machine, and everything else. It accommodates 100-fold more connections and increases the market potential by hundreds of billions of dollars, advancing the digital economy and creating infinite possibilities. F5G is opening new doors, transforming what was incredible yesterday into what is normal today. F5G will continue to grow, extending to optical switching, all optical network, and beyond. F5G will collaborate with 5G to create a new ecosystem, welcoming all industry partners to build an intelligent world.
Since the beginning, light has always been with us. Light has let life thrive and led us forward as we explore. Light has been our guide, but it has also empowered us. It is the spark that opened up a whole new world of discovery. Light has shown us the world. Optical networks let us connect it. Optical networks are enriching and evolving the online experience. From KB to MB, from GB to TP, today's optical networks are integrated into every way of life. In the world of tomorrow, optical networks will unleash even greater potential. Fiber connections will move deeper into data centers, bringing a new level of energy savings and efficiency. Optical connections will extend to every room, every desk, every machine, delivering a super-fast, ultra-smooth internet experience to each member of every family, enabling long-distance medical services that will span the globe, bringing hopes for better health to millions. Bring the holographic forms of partners and teammates from across the globe to your desktop, making millisecond trading a reality, giving investors a split-second advantage, adding new momentum to industrial development through production automation with smarter, connected machines, empowering cities to make the leap into the future of new intelligence and propelling the world in smarter directions. The future is within our reach. With OpticStar, Huawei will bring optical connectivity to every corner of our lives. With Optics Access, we will overcome distances and break down boundaries. And with OptiTrans, we will harness the power of optical data transmission across cities and continents, connecting the world as one. The intelligent optics network will connect everyone, everywhere, at the dawn of a brilliant new era.
在大自然中，隐是一种本能，是巧妙的藏匿，是看不见却无处不在的生机。隐也是人与自然和谐共处的方式。建筑可以巧妙地藏匿于自然，搭起我们与自然沟通的桥梁。在彩云之南，建筑正与万亩森林融为一体。
酒店建筑材料的选择需要取自自然。弹窗地处火山带，这里的食材非常丰富。我们看到的酒店的立面、路面，都选用了云南不同的6种天然的食材。门口的这个小溪河脚下走的这条路，依山而建，顺势设计。
在隐于自然的建筑里，我们可以拥有另一种生活方式。在山野林泉中，唤起最初的向往。隐于自然的生活，并不意味着与世界失联，也可以拥有现代化的体验。创新技术为这片原生态的栖息地带来了无处不在的连接，也让大自然中的智能生活留下最少的痕迹。
整个酒店占地30万平方米，400多套别墅，并且非常的分散。如果用老的方案来部署网络的话，总共建设下来就将近需要100个酒店资方，需要非常多的资源，而且还会影响周边的一个环境。所以选用光纤网络，可以简化网络架构，节省80%以上的资方空间。要满足酒店的网络需求，如果用铜线就需要一大捆。但光纤的话，只需要很细的一根线，光纤传输的耗损也更少，也就更绿色环保。
隐于山间的居所，融入自然的连接，造就静谧的栖息之地，让人与自然和谐相处。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Beatriz Cebro from Huawei, and I'm so glad to be here today.
Huawei.
The state of F5G evolution unleashing green digital productivity. The development of F5G is a giant and positive opportunity, not only for us, the way we live and the way we work, but also for our planet. We are stepping into a new era of communications and connection. Today is the perfect stage for us to discuss how to make full use of this opportunity. Before our first speaker comes to the stage, I would like to invite you to scan the QR that you have on your seats and complete the survey. Then later, remember to pick up the gift that we have ready for you outside. Now, let's welcome our first speaker, Markus Brunner, ISG F5G Liaison Officer, to present his topic, F5G Advanced for Green and Digital Transformation. Let's welcome him.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting ETSI ISG here on stage. ETSI, for those who don't know, it's the European Telecom Standards Institute, and I will talk about the standardization environment of F5G and how these things fit together. This is a bit of the agenda. I'm going a bit in the background why we are doing that, what are the current achievements, and with the forward-looking area we are looking to. We talk about a lot of more innovative things, some things like more futuristic, somewhat it's already there today. So, starting with that, in this event we talk a lot about green. I see green all over the place. If you walk through the halls here, networks need to be green. But also, we are in the age of digitalization. So we have this green and digital transformation, which we need to look into. And what does that mean for the connectivity and networking aspects? It means that we need to speed out the rollout of fiber and 5G, so fixed and mobile. I bring you here a bit of a quote from the German Ministry, Federal Ministry for the Environment and Nature Conservation. They basically have tested various access technologies, and you see that from the UMTS 3G to fiber optics, that there is a massive amount of difference what the energy consumption is concerned. Optics is by far the best. There is also a bit of a discussion on other aspects here, but I don't want to go into detail. Just shows you optical communication from an energy saving perspective, it's the best you can do today. Also, on the other hand, at least in Europe, 90% of the traffic in Europe is actually going through fixed networks. I had yesterday, was in a session where somebody was talking, about 50% of that European fixed traffic is already going through optics. There's still some copper out there, but on the way out. Now, let's quickly look into F5G. So what is F5G? We basically, in the ETSI group, we basically are trying to mimic the same generational way of looking into standardization. It's this roadmap-based standardization activity, which the mobile industry was very good at doing. So from the first generation mobile to the fifth generation mobile we are in today, and now we have the same in the fixed side as well. So we have the fixed 1G up to the F5G, the fixed 5G. And you see also the application. I mean, F1G is largely voice. We go to web, video, UHD, and now sort of the primary application, you see a lot of demonstrations around here at that event, is about cloud VR as the application. Also you see here, and that's similar to 5G, is the network is used for all different services and application. It's not just a single application network anymore as voice was the case. So we have a lot of different applications. That also means the network needs to adapt to different needs and different requirements. That's why F5G has defined 3 dimensions: high-speed networks, full fiber connections, and having a lot more fiber connections to the end. And we have the guaranteed and reliable experience, having guarantees in terms of latency and reliability. The overall vision is sort of going fiber to everywhere for really be unlimited in the future. So this is a path. We go from one side in the sort of more core networks in optics. We have that for quite some time, and we go on. We have OTN to the central office. We have fiber to the home. We have now fiber to the enterprise. But if you have fiber to the enterprise, the next step is fiber to the desk, fiber to the device, fiber to the machine. So this is sort of this vision of going with fiber further out in the network to the very end systems. A quick snapshot here on the ISG in ETSI, what we are doing. We have around 100 members, and you see some of them listed here. We are collaborating with a lot of other standards organizations, the ITU, IEC, IEEE, IETF, Broadband Forum, CCSA. So there is a collaboration ongoing, and we are at many of the events, like today here at the Mobile World Congress, showing our work in ETSI ISG F5G. To show you a little bit the methodology we are doing, we basically defined these generations and this roadmap-based approach. Then we look into a lot of use cases, and I will show you a few of them. Then we look into what is the available technology, what are the technological gaps, and then what are the requirements to implement these use cases. What does the network need to do to implement that use cases? And finally, we have built up an overall architecture for that. And then there are a few other things on that slide. I don't want to bore you with that. Now, I said for F5G, we have these 3 dimensions: speed, full fiber connections, and guaranteed reliable service. Now, looking a bit ahead into the future, we just started working on the future, and we are creating that mental mindset around the future of optical communication. We call it the F5G Advanced. It's basically aiming towards a 10 gig society, so 10 gig for everybody type of mental model. So you know it's a bit futuristic, but it's where we work towards. There's a white paper is being published that you can find that on the ETSI webpage. The QR code is here, the link is here. So what is F5G Advanced really looking into? It's naturally faster, it's wider, having even more connections in optics, it's smarter, it's quicker for industrial application, and it's greener. You see it's one whole dimension is looking into the green aspect, and it's more aware to visualize and sense things. So the key drivers for why are we doing that? What drives us? It's really the digitalization and cloudification on one side. That's sort of the industry trend and driver for our network work, and the network infrastructure, which needs to improve to support that. And then there are a lot of different enabling technologies. I don't want to go into detail. That would be a talk on its own. I give you a few examples here. From a use case document we have been doing. This use case document is open at the ETSI webpage as well. You can look, there are 32 different use cases for optical communication in various areas, for various services, and for various applications. So here, just a list of some of them. I mean, one is for using passive optical networks for industrial network solutions, so moving optical communication into manufacturing sites. Then you have a schematic diagram of slicing. That's if you want to have quality and guarantees, you need to separate the traffic somehow. And we call it, the concept here is a slice. You have the several slices or virtual networks on the same infrastructure, and you would decide what traffic goes where. A use case here in the manufacturing, or actually two use cases, where we use edge and cloud-based visual inspection for automatic quality control and the control of automated guided vehicles in the industrial environment. Just gives you a bit of an idea of where we are trying to go. Probably for this audience here, the more important cases are here. The use case on passive optical LAN, so using much more passive optical technology for your LAN environment, for campus networks, fiber to the office type of solutions. Or we have a concept which is called fiber to the room for SMEs. So we standardize the architectures and what is needed for fiber to the room for SMEs. Finally, the premium private line to multiple clouds. I said we talk about cloudification, digitalization, and the network needs to follow that driving force. So basically this use case is we want access to different clouds from everywhere. So the assumption is you don't have a single cloud because you have several ones. You have several applications which might run in several clouds. So the network needs to be able to cover with that. If you do cloud, you want to have the reliability and the performance and the guarantees to this access to the cloud being well done. So we need this service-dependent quality in the network. And for that, you need hard isolation between different traffic flows if you want to have these guarantees. Finally, we basically change this sort of IP, just best effort type of traffic to a wide range of connectivity options, also in terms of bandwidth. So far, the technology was usually sort of like either you have small bandwidth or you have large bandwidth, but we are now able to scale that from a 2 megabit to 800 gig type of span. So you can sort of pick whatever you want and whatever you need. So to sum up, the whole F5G is looking into this twin transition of green and digitalization. We have the vision of fiber to everywhere and everything, moving from copper or wireless to fiber, which naturally saves energy. I showed you some of the numbers. We want to drive the digital inclusion. Don't forget, there are people out there which don't have good connections. Fiber can bring that connections to everybody. F5G Advanced is going one step further into the digital transformation, enabling new digital applications, reducing mobility, which reduces energy, and enables more virtual experiences. And it also improves economic efficiency if you have digitalization. There's a set of studies showing that. F5G Advanced is really green. So we basically even make fiber itself is already greener than anything else, but we need to work towards make it even more green with all the reduction of CO2. So we have a lot of different technologies in the optics space and power-saving mechanisms which we deploy. And with that, I would like to thank you very much, and thanks for inviting Etsy to the stage.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bruna, for your insightful thoughts. It's obvious that communication technologies keep on evolving. F5G is a good bet to be focused through the next few years, as it opens us new possibilities for communications development and green digitization. Now, let's welcome Mr. Kim, the Vice President of the Optical Business Product Line Enterprise Business Group from Huawei, to deliver his speech on F5G Evolution, Unleashing Green Digital. Welcome, Kim.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Warmly welcome to you all. Today, I will present this topic and the F5G evolution, unleashing green digital. As you know, fiber is a trend to replace cable in all of the industry in the global, not only in home, but also in campus and factory scenarios. Fiber is extending from backbone and metro networks to LAN networks, such as campus networks, industrial networks. Based on optical fiber, Huawei has launched many innovative solutions that have been widely used in the industries. Now, let me introduce several successful commercial cases. At first, in SMIG, that is the largest power distribution company in Brazil. The optical network reduces the power outage time by 50%. Second, the optical network is guaranteeing the stable operation of high-speed trains about 180,000 kilometers around the world. Thirdly, the optical network reduces carbon emission by 62 tons annually. So, optical network is a reliable, stable, and green solution. Then, what is the next step for optical network evolution? Connection is developing from human to human, human to machine, to fully connection, which needs more capabilities for optical network. In 2020, just like Marcus introduced, ETSI published the F5G standard, and last year released the F5G Advanced and Beyond white paper. F5G solution added 3 angles, GAO, RRL, and OSV. And there are 4 changes compared with F5G, from 1G to 10G BPS, from carrier grade to industry grade, from communication to sensing, and from electrical switch to optical switch. Based on these 4 changes, a 5G optical network will bring more new values to all of the industries. To build a greener, more reliable, and more efficient network for the industry digital transformation. Based on a 5G evolution, Huawei fully upgrade 5 solutions to meet the industry digital requirements, including optical sensing, DCI, production, campus, and industry network. In the following slides, I will introduce these 5 solutions in detail. Last year, we released the optical sensing for oil and gas pipeline detection scenarios. This year, we upgrade the optical sensing to detect the perimeter scenarios. Through deploying optical fiber on the defense, Huawei EF3000 will detect the event immediately when someone tries to climb or destroy the defense. Based on Huawei innovative ODSP and algorithm, Huawei EF3000 can achieve 0 false negative and low false positives. For this scenario, EF3000 can be used for railway, airport, and large-scale campuses. EF3000 can also work with cameras to improve detection accuracy. When any event happened, EF3000 will infer camera to take a picture to further check the event. In this case, coming from the rail company in South Africa, there are more than 2,800 kilometer railway network because of 600 thefts per month. More than 1,000 kilometer cable was lost. As a verified result, Huawei EF3000 helps the customer to reduce the theft events by 90%. In the DC disaster recovery scenario, SOCC, that means Storage Optical Connection Coordination, realizes I/O link handover from 120 seconds to 2 seconds to achieve 0 finance transaction failure. And the optical layer upgrades from C120 to Super C plus Super L to achieve more than 96 tera BPS per fiber. Meanwhile, the optical link protection switch will be finished within 5 milliseconds on C120 plus R120 to ensure data backup failure by less than 10%. This case comes from a bank in Singapore. The recovery time optical achieved 0 after Huawei SOCC was deployed. As the next generation of SDIG technology, OSU, that means Optical Switch Unit, is based on TDM technology, just like SDH. Therefore, OSU can also realize hard isolation for the different services and carry all services in the same physical network to merge production and digital networks to one. NHP, that means native hard pipe, provides the industry-first end-to-end OSU solution, which can meet the requirements of the high reliability and production services and the huge bandwidth of the digital services at the same time. NHP can be widely used in the many industry, such as electric power, transportation, oil and gas. In China, the state-grid Shanxi Electric Power Company deployed the NHP network to ensure to read the smart meters all correctly. Huawei FDDO solution has been deployed more than 6,000 commercial networks around the world, including education, healthcare, enterprise, and so on. It is the best solution to build a green campus network. FDDO has P2MP architecture to reduce the optical modules by 50% and use passive component to replace active switch to change network architecture from 3 layers to 2 layers, and no ERV room is needed. To decrease carbon emission by 60% and to improve the O&M efficiency by 70%. There is a case from Italy. Please watch a video.
Centered on the eastern coastline of Sardinia, Perdeperra Resort has become a tourist paradise.
The network application required by the guests have greatly expanded from online entertainment to various intelligent applications. To meet the opportunities and challenges of the hotel industry, we need to upgrade our network deployment to carry more complex customer requirements and services.
We decided to develop a network that was running on GPON technology and with an installation of a single ONT bridge in each room.
Thanks to the mature integrated and ready-to-go features of Huawei solution, we can quickly deliver all devices and deploy in a centralized manner. Huawei brings us to a digitalization and technology transformation with sustainable, reliable and simplified service to help us build smart, intelligent hotels. In the future, with the help of Huawei, we hope Perdeperra Resort can provide the customer-oriented services with high efficiency, quality and technology.
In the near future, more and more new applications need more links, lower latency, and large bandwidth in campus scenarios, such as AR/VR education, 3D medical image, and enterprise coordination. To meet these requirements, Huawei launched the industry-first symmetrical 50G PON system. Plug in a new card. The legacy sub-rank can be supported 50G PON. That is a combo module and is compatible with XGS PON. 50G PON can also support Class D optical module, the legacy ODN network. Needing the restructure when the network is upgraded from 10G PON to 50G PON. When Wi-Fi 6 will be upgraded to Wi-Fi 7 or Wi-Fi 8, the ONU needn't be changed. Therefore, the legacy network evolution to 50G PON can be sure smoothly. In the power substation, metro station, and highway scenarios, FTTM, that means fiber to the machine, provides all service carrying network with high reliability and low latency. In terms of high reliability, Type-C protection can be sure the protection switch to be finished within 50 milliseconds. In terms of low latency, the TDM technology can ensure the deterministic low latency. Hard isolation based on TTM technology can guarantee the service security to carry different services in one network. This case comes from the metro company in Singapore. More than 200 metro stations were deployed with FTTM solution to ensure zero video interruption. Today, we will release the industry-first lossless industrial optical network that is upgraded from FTTM. Compared with FTTM, two features are upgraded. The first is full-time zero packet loss. 1+1 dual field and selective receiving features ensures zero packet loss when protection switch happens. Passive dual uplink architecture ensures zero packet loss for other nodes. When an ONU node fails, our ONU node is added or deleted. The second is the industry-first ORU. That means optical regeneration unit. ORU can provide ultra-long chain networking and cascading 128 levels. The lossless industrial optical network will provide a high reliable production network for the industries. As shared, the POR-based all-optical campus network has been widely used today based on our understanding and the practice of the industry. We will release a white paper. We look forward to working together with partners to explore and promote the development of the POR industry, fully explore the business value of POR, and unleash the green digital.
Now, we are going to invite some of our Huawei Optical Solution partners from all over the world to jointly launch the technical and application white paper for all optical campus network. They are, please join us, Gu Yunbu, President of Huawei Enterprise Optical Business Domain. Abdel Rahman Al-Kateb, Chief Executive Officer of Traffic Tech Gulf. Juan Bernal, Key Account Director of Alea Soluciones. Joao Dines, Partner and Commercial Director of Celeti. Martin Chiesa, Senior Consultant of Visria Global Market Research and Consultancy. And of course, Mr. Kim, Vice President of Huawei Optical Business Line. Please stand all in front of the launch desk.
Thank you.
It's a heart-to-heart moment, so let's go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Thank you so much, everybody. After hearing this fantastic presentation from Mr. Kim and the release of our white paper, We believe that it's possible to perfectly integrate the green and environmental friendly concept and digital development. The Green Campus Network is built with innovative technologies and technical services, with core features including environmental friendliness, energy saving, efficiency, and sharing. It aims to provide support for sustainable social development and further promote green and low-carbon urban development via ICT technologies and network services. Now, we are going to invite to the stage Miguel Reynés Massanet, Chief Information Officer from Rio Hotels and Resorts, to deliver a speech about F5G enables premium green campus networks. Welcome him.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I try to explain how all this technology, F5G, applies to the hospitality industry, and then how it enables high-quality green campus networks. So let me start with some figures about my company. Rio Hotels is a Spanish 70 years old private company with 100 hotels, most of them purchased or built by ourselves. We have properties in 20 countries, 4 continents, and with more than 99,000 beds, more than 6 million guests, more than almost 50,000 rooms and 35,000 employees. Our revenues in 2022 were around 3 billion euros. Let me talk about some small figures related to the network and the use of the technology inside the company. We are managing a total annual traffic download about 44 petabytes. That is a huge amount of traffic. The uploads were around 13 petabytes. And the most important thing is that it is growing more than the double each per year. The inbound contract bandwidth is around 75 gigabps and more or less symmetrical with 70 in terms of the outbound contract. We are managing around 30 different operators around the world, communications operators, and with about more or less 350 number of services lines, different lines contract. When we talk about those 100 hotels, almost half and half are developed and installed using GPON and traditional technology. 45 versus 55. For sure, last 45 were installed in the last period of time. Let me say that internally, because we think that we have to manage all the network, all the company network, we are managing and using more than 29,000 access points with more than 52 LTs and more than 26,000 ONTs, more than 1,300 switches, and it is very interesting because we have installed more than 1,000 kilometers of fiber optics. The very interesting thing is that the average of our 100 hotels, they have more than 500 rooms per property. So it isn't a very interesting thing, because the size is relevant in this case. I will not make a joke, for sure. Most of these big properties, villas, smart homes, makes that the distance is a very interesting thing, because, as you know very well, the limitation of the copper and Ethernet traditional solutions of the 100 meters allows us to save a lot of switches, active elements, versus the fiber F5G solution. At the same time, all our properties had a lot of different cables, ADU, coax, Ethernet, to the room. It is very simple nowadays to arrive with the fiber to the room, and then, and mainly in some special places such as Caribbean or places where the humidity is a very interesting thing and very dangerous thing as well. In terms of maintenance, the high maintenance that we had to do with those type of installations are totally solved using the fiber solutions. The quality of service, depending on copper, not in this case. So we moved from the traditional Ethernet to all optical solutions in most of our properties, moving from 3 layers to 2 layers, and from active to passive architecture. And the very interesting thing, for instance, in our hotel in Dubai, is that it not only allows us to save costs, we can provide better solutions in terms of quality of service, in terms of less or low maintenance, in terms of, quality, for instance, of TV. It is very funny because the first thing that our guests realized was that TV in the Caribbean or in the humidity spaces were very bad solutions. So using cable, we are preserving that the signal that arrives directly to the room. And it sounds good. The guests love that type of service. So, for instance, our last hotel in Dubai, that is 750 rooms located in Deira, is based on this type of solutions. Is totally built using a fiber optic solution, because we have achieved a great experience using this technology, because of we have and we are reducing costs, both CapEx and OpEx, both. For sure, with the big size of hotels. The quality of signal, I said before, services, TV, phone, Wi-Fi, CCTV. Then what we are doing is moving from traditional approach to FTTO, when we are constantly rebuilding the properties. This is not a choice, it's mandatory in our company. So all new hotels we are building with this technology. 5 years ago, we started with the first property, and in 5 years, we have rebuilt and built since zero 45 hotels, as I said, able to grow in bandwidth, for sure. This is a very interesting capability. And then new services deployed in infrastructure, continue growing, And finally, I will say that it is strategical for the company to continue growing in the fiber optics technology. Sorry. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Miguel, for using this fantastic example of the hotel industry to help us to see what a fantastic choice is to use the FTTO solution to build a green campus network. The internet is phenomenal and keeps on evolving. ISPs, the internet service providers, are irreplaceable promoters providing premium network services so as to achieve digital transformation of enterprises. How to provide more competitive solutions is a heated topic in the industry. Today, Huawei will bring a series of F5G to B network solutions to upgrade ISPs to B service development capabilities. The next topic will be presented by Mr. Gu Yunbu, President of Huawei's Enterprise Optical Network domain. F5G to B fast growth together with ISPs towards enterprise market. Let's enjoy.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yunbo, and I'm in charge of Huawei Optical Enterprise domain. The topic I would like to share is F5G to business. The topic I would like to share is F5G to business grow together with ISP toward enterprise market. In the digital transformation, internet service providers are key players and promoters. When building digital infrastructure for enterprises, ISPs have also received huge returns. According to insights and analysis report, to business service has become a critical part for top ISPs. It accounts even for nearly 50% of the total revenue. In addition, more than 60% of 2B revenue comes from connectivity service for enterprises. Therefore, competitive connectivity service are the key to the 2B business success. Based on 30 years of technical experience, Huawei has developed 3 F5G to business solutions to improve the competitiveness of ISP 2B services. For the large and medium campus network, the FTTO solution uses fibers instead of coppers, which brings obvious advantage. Many global practice shows that the win rate during bidding exceeds 85%. For the small campus network, FTTR SME solution makes full use of ODN network and helps ISP double up in the SME DCIT market. In data center interconnection scenario, DC optic solution greatly simplified the WIDM net technology. Therefore, it is suitable for partners to implement massive sales and delivery. So next, let me introduce these 3 solutions in detail. In campus network, the FTTO solution outperforms traditional switch network work through architecture and media innovation. That's bringing 3 benefits. First, energy saving. FTTO solution replaces aggregation switch with the passive splitter and simplifies networks layers from 3 to 2, saving ELV rooms in campus. The power consumption can be saved by 60%. Second, simplified O&M. The FTTO solution converges traditional office, voice, and security networks into one network. Once deployed, one person can operate and maintain an entire campus network. Third, cost saving. The FTTO solution reduces the material cost and the cabling workload. Compared with traditional point-to-point network mode, FTTO adopts point-to-multipoint networking mode. This reduces the numbers of optical modules by 50% and saves deployment cost by 30%. Take education scenarios as an example. So generally, each floor in a school dormitory has 20 dorm rooms. This is just an example. Totally 100 information points to connect to computers or telephones. In the switch networking solution, you can see the left picture. All these information points are connected through the switches in the ELV room, as shown in the figure. In such 15th floor dormitory building, 1,500 copper cables need to be routed. If the FTTO solution is used, only one fiber needs to be connected to the ONT in each room from a passive splitter to provide sufficient bandwidth. In the same cases, totally only 300 fibers need to be routed, reducing the cabling workload by 80% and the cabling cost by 50%. Meanwhile, the total weight can be reduced by 95% because fibers are lighter than coppers, as we know. The right picture is inside the door room. Huawei's 3-in-1 ONT provides a port, Wi-Fi 6, and 4 GHz interface, supporting all services over one fiber. It can reduce the network complexity by more than 60%. It supports a thin, advanced fiber with power cable. This will ensure that the network is still available if the dormitory is out of the power. Huawei AFWP uses patent Huawei hybrid IC technology and supports 90-watt power supply over 800 meters. This is another case for the medical scenario. In health care scenarios, the FTTO solution helps hospitals improve the efficiency. Take CT image diagnosis as an example. The FTTO provides gigabit access to each desk in the image reading room and 10 GPS access to the CT room because there are some big images. Network bandwidth is no longer a bottleneck. CT images don't need to be printed or diagnosed after being shot. Hundreds of thousands of CT images can be selected on the computer in the image reading room in real time. According to the practice of Union Shenzhen Hospital, with the FTTO network, it takes over 1 second to upload and download the 1,000 high-definition CT images, 30 times faster than traditional network. The healthcare industry has high requirement on information security. Patient information, door office information, and public service information must be escalated on different network and avoid leakage. Huawei Optical Star P893 is the industry's first XGS-PON Pro ONT that can support time slot isolation. With this ONT, multiple information can be transmitted on a single network in a physical isolated way. It significantly reduced 30% of TCO. In addition, the XGS-PON Pro technology increased the bandwidth by 25% from 10G to 12.5G. In order to simplify the implementation of FTTO solution, Huawei launched the STAR tools, which brings 3 benefits. First, design without experience required. A scenario-based template suite support more than 30 scenarios, such as dormitories, hotel guest rooms, hospital cancellation rooms. All design parameters, such as speed radio, the types of ONO have been configured in template based on the common requirement. Second, FTTO ONT supports plug and play within 1 minute. No any difficulty in delivery. Third, Huawei eSite can manage switch, ORTs, and ONUs in one stop. Besides, eSite supports one-click root cause diagnosis for fault within 1 minute. As an example, for a campus network with 2,000 information points, with the Star FTTO tools, it takes only 4 persons for the design, 5 persons days for the installation, and 1 person day for the provisioning, and 1 regular engineer for the whole operation and maintenance. So next, it is about FTTR SME. According to the SBA fact sheet, 99% of enterprises in Europe actually are small SMEs. 90% of SMEs don't have professional ICT teams. They rent an internet private line from the ISP and purchase devices from the open market to build their own campus network. Such networking mode cannot meet the requirement in the cloud and video era. Problems such as the slow cloud access rate, frame freezing in video conference frequently occurs. As a result, ISPs get complaints about internet service. According to the statistic, 65% of SME complaints are irrelevant to the internet private line. SMEs require premium campus network, which is a huge opportunity for us for ISPs. Based on the Odeon Huawei FTTR SME solution, can extend a fiber to each room, and provide over 2 Gbps everywhere experience. So with the FTTR SME solution, ISPs can get rid of invalid complaints and sell networking solutions, not just a private line, or even the DICT services to increase the revenue. This solution also provides SMEs with guaranteed services through a single contract, achieving a win-win situation for ISPs and SMEs. How does FTTR SME achieve premium experience? Actually, full fiber P2MP networking can cover more than 2 kilometers ultra-long distance and ensure high bandwidth quality. In terms of the management, FTTR SME and FTTH can share the same net management system. It can provide ISP-side and user-side apps. For the experience assurance, FTTR SME has 2 major innovations. First, look at the right picture, smart connection. It supports smart channel bandwidth, which can intelligently adjust Wi-Fi bandwidth for large file transfer. Smart Wi-Fi antennas can sense and adjust the coverage mode in real time, achieving zero blind spots in all scenarios. The second is smart optimization. FTTR SME supports one-click optimization to ensure the latency and bandwidth for VIP customers. The instant isolation function intelligently sets more than 30 Office applications and speeds up them automatically. In order to help ISPs use FTTR SME solution and serve customers well, Huawei has developed an end-to-end solution from marketing and delivery. The one-click Wi-Fi coverage simulation app helps complete the network planning with 5 minutes. For the construction, the transparent cabling tool suite can use to complete cabling in each room with 20 minutes. For the acceptance, the one-click end-to-end service provisioning function saves manual workload. 4-step self-test and self-confirmation functions simplify on-site acceptance. It can ensure 100% successful on-site installation and avoid rework. For the maintenance, 90% of problems can be solved remotely through the network management system. And now let's watching a video about the fast and transparent cabling solution. So here we have a video.
You need to use the following devices and tools. Using Huawei's innovative FTTR fiber installation kit, you can route a transparent optical cable by simply pressing and moving the kit along the cabling path, significantly improving the cabling efficiency. The kit supports both built-in and external power supplies, making it convenient to use. When routing the transparent optical cable along a baseboard, you are advised to keep the kit perpendicular to the baseboard and move the kit slowly to ensure that the hot melt adhesive on the optical cable fully melts. Exposed corner cabling. Slow down at corners to ensure a proper bending radius for the optical cable. Internal corner cabling. Press the optical cable with a finger protected by a heat insulation finger cut to ensure a proper bending radius for the optical cable. To ensure that the optical cable is securely attached, you need to reinforce the optical cable at corners. Use a hot melt adhesive gun to dispense adhesive along the optical cable path, and use an adhesive spreader to make the adhesive evenly distributed. At exposed corners where the optical cable may be scratched, use single-sided waterproof tape for reinforcement.
I see some of you are very interested about this video. And actually, we have a showcase in the SB Hotel just very near from here. You can try it in that showcase by yourself. It's very easy. Yeah. So next, we will look at the DC optics. It is the DCI scenarios. Huawei has developed this product, Optic Trans DC908. In the past 3 years, DC908 has been recognized by the market. It is ranked as the leader in Global Data's DCI report in the past 3 years and has won more industry awards. DC908 is a suitable product for massive sales by partners. It achieves simplicity in terms of design, delivery, and operation and maintenance. First, no network design requirement. In a point-to-point scenario, each site requires only one DC908 chassis to support 130 kilometers in the data center interconnection. Second, 1 hour delivery. DC908 has server-like design and doesn't require site survey. Besides, DC908 supports one-click automatic deployment and waveless expansion within 8 minutes. Third, no networks management system server required. DC908 has the network-level Web GUI AMS function, thereby reducing the project costs and make the project very simple. F5G 2B solutions have been widely used already. There are 3 examples here just. In Europe, ISPS used the FTTO solution to quickly win the nursing room Group A campus network project. ISPS helped the customer improve 60% network upgrade efficiency and achieve the sales of both products and professional service. Based on the customer's praise, ISPS extended the success to more than 115 nursing homes from the group. And in Foshan, a southern China city, China Telecom used to face hard competition from others in SME internet market. Actually, FTTR SME solution helped China Telecom solve the problem of invalid complaints and achieved zero churn rate. Besides, this solution promoted the sales of DCIT services and doubled up of the SMEs. In the Middle East, another case, the Bank B is the best digital bank in the region. However, the construction period of a new DCI infrastructure is too long to meet this new business growth requirement. ISPZ used the DC908 to satisfy Bank B. It features faster delivery and improved service online efficiency by 70%. In addition, it drives value-added sales of DCs, increasing the revenue from 1 to 4. To enable ISP's F5G2B capabilities, Huawei has launched a series of professional certifications, more than 20 courses, and practical training campus are available to help partners pass certifications. Huawei's partner system consists of sales partners, certification service partners, and solution integration partners. ISPs only need to register as Huawei's optical solution partners, then we'll be able to grow together with Huawei in F5G2B market. Based on different network conditions, we recommend ISPs to select different or appropriate F5G2B solution for sales. For the areas, if you have ODN network, all the three solutions can be selected. For areas maybe you don't have ODN, FTTO solution and the DC optic solutions can be implemented. F5G2B has a very big market space. It is around $100 billion. In 2023, Huawei launches the Plato project to promote F5G2B solutions to global partners. The vouchers will help partners cultivate more than 3,000 professionals, 50 optics club events, and 1 sales rebate will help partners in marketing and promotion. Besides, Huawei will provide free demo devices and work together to build 100 showcases around the world. Moreover, Huawei will provide additional incentives based on the sales or service performance. F is F5G. F in F5G means fixed, means fiber, means future. Huawei is willing to work with global ISPs to expand F5G2B to achieve the rapid 2B business growth. Finally, I hope more ISPs will join F5G2B to seize opportunities in the F5G era. Thank you. That's all my sharing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jumbo. We believe that these F5G2B solutions will not only accelerate the digitalization of enterprises, but also bring rich values to the ISPs. With the increasing pressure on sustainability, wider and increasingly dense IT networks, passive optical LAN is gradually becoming a more popular campus solution within the industry. What does it require for your campus infrastructure? What is passive optical LAN? To learn these answers, let's give a warm welcome to Martin Chiesa, the Senior Consultant of Global Market Research and Consultancy, BISRIA.
Hello. Welcome, and thank you very much to Huawei to give me the opportunity to talk about these technology that I'm so passionate about, and to all of you for being here. Today, I'm going to talk very briefly about the challenges and the requirements for a local area network, for a present one and a future one, and how passive optical networks can help overcome those challenges and meet those requirements. So first, I'm going to very briefly touch on sustainability and how that has impacted the building services market. From there to the main IT network requirements, and then I'll talk about passive optical networks. Quite a lot of things that have been said go very well in line with what I'm going to tell, so I think it's going to be great. We've all seen how there has been an increasing pressure on sustainability matters, not just from the net zero targets of the UN and how that then translated into regulations and legislation around the world, but also the emergence of environmental assessment methods such as BREEAM or LEED, to name a few of the many ones that are around there, and how that is being valued by building owners and by companies as well that are renting those spaces. ECG, and I mean, I don't want to go on to all of that, but there has been a lot of pressure on sustainability. And the reason behind it is that for life as we know it to continue like we know it, we need to become more environmentally aware and more energy Efficient. Buildings, according to International Agency of Energy, International Energy Agency, account for 30% of all worldwide consumption. We've seen in the past how all of these building services were standalone proprietary solutions. Over time, those solutions started being first integrated with one another to gain some synergies, and finally converged into networks to work and be operated and controlled and gain even more synergies. Smart buildings that we've heard so many times about are just that, are the integration or the convergence of all those subsystems and systems, all those actuators and sensors and controllers into one or more IT networks that operate the building. So it is clear that the trend is towards more IP products and devices. We don't need to talk about that. And it is clear that IP networks will be supporting, IT networks, will be supporting more and more of those subsystems or systems that building services that we've mentioned before. So we clearly expect wider and increasingly dense IT networks, local area networks, supporting all those services. Okay, so how does that translate into local area networks? Well, here are some of the requirements, and clearly one is full wireless connectivity. This is not related to the previous, but to the lifestyle that we are having with hybrid cooperation or hybrid working and remote working, and using the office not just as a workstation, but a place to cooperate and to have meetings, and for campuses as well, having areas outside the building where people can meet and have discussions. So obviously, full wireless connectivity is something that is coming. And from that point of view, a reminder that was mentioned before, we have now Wi-Fi 6, which is 10 gigabits of bandwidth, but Wi-Fi 7 that is coming just next year is going to require at least 35 gigabits of bandwidth. So obviously, thinking of that using category cable will mean at least 4 category cables. Obviously, the future from that point of view is fiber. Another requirement for passive optical, for local area networks is scalability and future-proof. It is clear that as local area networks become denser and become more critical, we need to be able to scale those networks and to make that the infrastructure future-proof. Using fiber, obviously, and particularly with passive optical networks, single-mode fiber is a great way to future-proof your physical infrastructure. Reliability and security are a must nowadays, but as all these building services are increasingly going to somehow being linked and depend on the local area network, reliability and security become paramount. We're not just talking about data security, we're talking about human lives potentially. Lower CapEx and OpEx is again one of those things that everybody would like for their own local area networks and any infrastructure that a company buys. But it's very much related in this case with lower environmental impact, which is a must, as I was saying, for our future in this world. So let's talk about passive optical networks. I'm going to share with you some market information of what I've seen, because I've been over the last 14, almost 15 years conducting market research and conducting consultancy on local area networks and data centers. So I'm going to share some of these information with you, which is done with cooperation of APOLAN, the Association of Passive Optical LAN, where the vast majority of passive optical network players our members and cooperate with our research. So let's start by very quickly touching into this. This is a traditional architecture for an Ethernet LAN. You have the core switch. This is a campus, so you have the campus aggregation switches, the building aggregation, and then on each level of each floor, you will have at least one IDF, one computer room, where there, again, you will have switches. The thing is, you need maintenance, and you need staff on visiting all those places. And then on top of that, at each of those levels, you need power backup, cooling, and you need access control, cameras, energy monitoring. Okay, so how does that compare with local area network? Sorry, with passive optical networks. In passive optical networks, we have one OLT from which you can control the entire campus on a centralized way, and all of the building aggregation that you see here and the telecom rooms, all of those switches are completely replaced by inexpensive, small, passive optical splitters that need no maintenance, no power, no cooling. So only you need, and no security, because information is encrypted. So all you need is power backup, cooling, and security at one point. And then you need power for the ONTs, which, by the way, can be also powered remotely. There is the option, of course, on ONTs to use a backup battery or any other backup systems, but ONTs typically connect to a few devices, so in case they fail, there's only a few devices that will fail. Not that it happens frequently at all. So regarding our research, I've started studying the passive optical markets in 2015. And the market was really small. Considering both the passive components and the active components, the market was under $100 million globally. And it went gradually growing, reaching almost 300, just under 300 million by 2019. It dipped a bit during the pandemic, less than we anticipated actually. And what is remarkable is the unprecedented growth that it has seen, that we have witnessed since. So these drive us to think that the future looks quite bright for passive optical networks. We expect the market by 2025 to be between 800, 850 and above $1 billion, $1,000 million. This is, of course, considering that the ongoing war doesn't expand further from the boundaries of Ukraine, but we do believe this is very reasonable to be seen. And the reasons why is, if we look at how the market looked in 2019, only 3 years ago really, because the information I'm giving you is 2022, is that the office buildings, hospitality, government, and senior and student accommodation accounted for 87% of all the global market, with many other verticals as well playing a role, but a much smaller role. Now, if we look only at the evolution to 2022, how that has changed is remarkable. We have that education, offices have fallen onto others, understandably, because of the pandemic. Education, hospitality, government, healthcare, mixed use, industry and logistics are all very important verticals for Paul. And the role of others has also increased. So why is this? Well, with passive optical networks, they essentially can meet all of the requirements that we were talking about some minutes ago. For starters, and very important, lower capex, lower capital expenditure, less initial cost, and also, and related to it, a much greener solution. I'll explain. Here, here you can see the typical IDF, the computer room that you will have in each of the buildings, in each of the levels, at least one, and taking 10 square meters according to the standards at least again. You can see uninterrupted power systems, you can see cooling, you can see tons of cabling, you can see switches. All of that disappears with passive optical network in every single level. There's no computer, no switches, no computer rooms, of course, no power and cooling, no backup, no nothing of all of that. And that is replaced by relatively inexpensive, small passive optical splitters. Again, using no electricity, requiring no cooling, no specific security, no moving parts. And more importantly, as well, not more importantly, but importantly as well, there's no software licenses. It's just light coming one end and being split on the other end several times. This is another example of how 120 users of only category 5E, which is disappearing in the market, looks like. So the thinner cable that you could probably, category cable that you could probably buy, 4 pairs, of course, and how it looks with 128 users. So all of the infrastructure that you see here, the cable ladders, the conduits, the trays, become almost unnecessary. Much simpler installations and much faster installations as well, and huge savings in terms of space. It is a lower energy consumption network. We're going to show an example from a third party here. Centralized management, so all the entire network, the campus at port level can be managed from one single remote place. And of course, it ends up having a much lower cost of ownership. This is information available online by Tyco Electronics that has, some years ago, been bought by CommScope. These still are, structured cabling manufacturers, as they sell copper and fiber. And this is an example that you can see for 1,400 nodes, equivalent to 700 users if it's only data, with 2 drops per workstation. What I want to draw your attention here is the consumption. Because it has a few years, it might not be the latest, but it really gives you an idea about the comparison figures between how much energy consumption you get with passive optical networks compared to Ethernet. The same with space. If you're looking at just 6 to 8 floors, and you're following the standards and you're using 10 square meters per floor, you have 60 to 80 square meters only on IDFs. That are replaced by 6 to 8 square meters. You've got the splitters on the wall, and you need a bit of space to access them eventually, as and when. In terms of the cable weight, there's 2 category 6 or 6A here used. You've got 2.6 to 2.8 tons of copper cabling, including the fiber risers, the backbone. And that is only 221 kilos of fiber cable instead. So that's regarding OpEx and CapEx. What about scalability and future-proof? Well, let's start by saying your entire network, most of your network, the vast majority of your network runs on single-mode fiber. Single-mode fiber bandwidth is still unknown, the limit. So it is a matter of eventually replacing the electronics on both ends, and you will get more and more bandwidth from your network. So you can grow your network without disturbing the office floor or the local area network floor. On top of that, as passive optical networks have evolved, they are backward compatible, meaning that not only you don't need to replace all the infrastructure when you upgrade the ends or the electronics, but also you don't need to replace the entire electronics. You can only upgrade those areas where you need more bandwidth, leaving the rest exactly the same and everything coexisting. So, don't want to give you more information, but I think it's quite enough. This easy to scale and it's future-proof. And this is the last slide that I would like to share with you today. It is important to bear in mind that this, although newish on the local area networks, these technology has existed for more than 20 years, and it was initially created for carriers, for telecom companies, where you needed little maintenance, long distances, and reliability. So this solution provides 5 nines reliability without any sort of redundancy, and 6 nines reliability with type B redundancy. As I said before, is encrypted, and more importantly, for certain environments, is unaffected by electromagnetic interferences. So secure, reliable, future-proof, greener, and with much lower OPEX and CAPEX than conventional Ethernet networks. I do think that passive optical networks will continue to grow in adoption over the coming years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Martin, for your wonderful presentation today. Green and digitization are the dual driving forces that change the contemporary world, promoting economic and global sustainability development. It's our mission to integrate green tech and digitization into our life to help ensure a sustainable development. That is all for today's session. We would like to thank to all the speakers today and to all of you for joining us. We would like also to remind you again to scan the QR you have on the seats and complete a survey. And also, please return your headphones if you use them. Please leave them on the seats or at the door. Thank you very much again. Thank you.